Hey everyone, this is Deb and I'm back again. I am trying out a new setup for my camera and doing a video. So we're going to see how that works out. I have put some tape here because otherwise, as we know, I tend to get out of camera and that doesn't do a lot of good, does it? So anyway, I am here to do a flip through. This is a journal that I made, oh gosh, it's been a few years ago now. And I made it for me. This was back in the day when I was practicing and learning how to do journals and stuff. And so what I like to do when I put my journals together is not only have a theme, but I also like a story. I like to put a story with my journals. That is, I mean, books and stories, they just go together, right? So this journal, and I say journal, but I don't write in my journals. I just like to glue things in there. And actually, I do write. I have written in this, but it's to go with the story. It's not actual journal entries. So anyway, the story on this one is that this journal was it belonged to a teacher, and she lived in rural Kansas from 1923 to 1969, and she has written things in here and put things that are according to her interest. So her students, of course, were part of that interest, and cooking and preserving, gardening, things that, you know, were very, you know, in 1923, they lived a very self-sufficient life. You know, you didn't just go to the grocery store and, you know, and buy stuff or have Amazon deliver it. So if you didn't make it, you didn't eat it, or even, you know, you'd have to grow it as well. So anyway, so that's what this book is. It's my favorite style is rustic or primitive, or what I would call that Depression era Appalachian type. It's very simple, nothing ornate or gold or gilded. I mean, it's not that I don't like that style. That just doesn't represent me well. So anyway, so here's the cover, and it is made from, oh, this is a double-sided, what am I saying? Paper pack, you know, scrapbooking paper. And I did, and it's one whole piece. Let me open it up. It's one whole piece, but I did add this center spine to kind of reinforce and give it that look that I like. And so everything in here pretty much is digital, because, you know, I'm the queen of digital. I love digitals. And so I really I have some of my favorite digital makers. I mean, are we not so lucky to have the digital artists that we have? Because it's really quite amazing. Anyway, so this is the first page, and of course every teacher needs a ruler. And here's some little pocket. Here's a pocket that's got some little flower packets. And her, I guess I could put something there. Her, you know, back to being a teacher. And believe it or not, this is paper. It doesn't look paper, does it? I added those little emojis, whatever you call those. And the paper, the inside paper, is all done, or the signature, let me say that, is all done from packaging, Amazon packaging, you know, where they crinkle it all up and stuff it inside. So, love that paper. Love it. And I did grunge it up a little bit. And then, of course, sewed it. And then here's a lesson 166. And it opens up, and then here's the script alphabet. Here's a piece of, this is actually authentic. I'm pretty sure Tammy sent that to me. If I've got anything real in here, chances are Tammy or my niece Marva. My niece Marva sends me a lot of stuff too. But anyway, this is, you know how back in kindergarten and elementary school, you'd learn how to write. So that's what that is. That's writing paper. And here's a little student at her desk, and she's writing. This is a milk top. So here's a page that's got, if you were to order seeds, and it's got some math. It's got a math page. This school book is authentic. This is a page out of it, and I'm wanting to say that Marva sent this to me, and actually this book really reminds me a lot of Marva, because Marva always loved to play school, and I mean throughout this whole book, she making this whole thing, she really was on my mind. And then here's a alphabet, pictorial alphabet. Here's some chicken. This actually is a photograph of some chicken wire fabric that I have. And and here it is. Here's the chicken wire fabric. So I just made a copy of it and then used it for a page here and there so you can see that it's here. So the lady that owned this book, this teacher lady, she also had hens and chickens and eggs and all that kind of stuff. And she sold eggs to help her with her income. And she had some honey. She had some honeybees. And here's a pocket with a little clustery kind of a deal on there. This fabric, don't you love, like this kind of feed sacky? This is called Apple Butter by Tilda, and oh my gosh, I wish I had 100 yards of that whole thing. And here's another lesson. This is actually fabric. This basket is fabric. It's an applique shape, and I did some embroidery on there and then glued it down. These actually came out of my garden. Didn't do a very good job of that. I tried using this you know, where you laminate it. That didn't work. So this is Depression era fabric and a Depression era button that makes this tab. And here's a botanical. So this is her garden. This is a picture of her garden that she's drawn here. And so her house, and so she's got a bee garden, and that's her canning kitchen, and that's her winter garden and greenhouse. She's got fruit trees and vegetable garden and a butterfly garden. So I just kind of sketched all that out. There's some pasture land. Sketched all that out as part of the, you know, to add to the book. Here's a list of seeds that she wants to order. And here's a little seed pocket, and that came out of my garden. I've got this really neat fabric that's got all these words on there. And then, okay, so here's her garden plan for 1929. So she's got the different rows. Row 1's going to be tomatoes. Row 2, string beans. Row 3, cucumber. It's going to be a cucumber hill, and on and on. It's behind there. Oh, okay. And then here's a seed pocket. So she's got a note to herself: order seeds, buy cages, and string. There's a piece of string. And amend the soil. Over here is some fresh milk and cream and butter, the dairy stuff. That is real and authentic homespun ticking. And then here's a kind of a nod to farming and you know, more dairy. Here's some and I think these are authentic, these milk tickets, and I'm sure I got those from Tammy. And cards. And here's a piece of paper that she gave somebody an A+. She's got her red pencil mark on there. These, I'm wanting to think that all these really great, what I call Depression era digitals, I think those came from, oh boy, I am so sorry. You know that my mind is, I just can't think. And I know you'll know who I'm talking about, but I can't think of it right now. And then, of course, over here, we've got school stuff. You know, crayon. There's a box of crayons. There's a couple of our students. They're out. Looks like they're picking cotton. And here's a report card. So this says Mrs. Cade, which is me, grade 3, 1923. Actually, 1923 was the year that my mother was born. And then there's some signatures here. More feed sack. Both of these are authentic. From back in the day. There's a pack. I think, yeah, that's a. Obviously I didn't fill in my pockets. And let's see. So these are steel beaters. She's using this advertisement to put into her book. So we get over here, and now we're into cooking. So she's got some of her favorite recipes. I want to say, sorry, that her name starts with L. Huh. I know who it is. It's on the tip of my tongue. That irritates me. Anyway, more cooking. Here's a cooking label. Aren't those cute? I just love those cooking labels. Going through here makes me want to make another one of these. This is from my garden. Looks like a dandelion or something. One man's wheat is another man's breakfast. And then little fabric elements. And over here are some lists. A little cluster with strawberry stuff. This is a Johnny Jump Up that came out of my garden. And so now we're kind of moving into, you know, food production and some of her other interests. So here's some little cards that she had for her students. More weeds. A picture of a hen house. Here's a seed pouch that I did. I had this thing, this bucket or buckle, and I added that to make it look like a overall strap. So here's some information about doing trellis work with different figures and ideas and stuff. I thought that was really neat. And then here's more information about raising chickens. The little flippy flappy thing. Here's a page from the Garden of Dictionary, or the Dictionary of Gardening. This is real burlap. Old. I don't even know where I got that. And again, here's a photo of that fabric. And about chickens. These came out of my garden. And more burlap and doilies, of course. Back in those days, you know, they did doilies. This kind of looks like a barn wall. And here's more doily stuff. And this is a photo of I wish I could think of her name. I actually think this came out of it came out of a book on Feedsack. And then how to can. This is how to. And then here's a wooden canning jar with some string around it and an old cutter quilt attached to it. Or quilt top, unquilted. And more pockets. There's a little girl with her chickens. Here's more of that cutter quilt. I love those cheddar colors. And then A was for apple pie. And then this is another page out of that that book that I showed you earlier. And this is the Star Spangled Banner, because of course back in those days, you know, kids started the day by singing the Star Spangled Banner. And then this is the back. And I think it's just one signature. Yeah, it's just one signature. Obviously, there's just one. And so, anyway, I thought I would share this with you and show you one of my favorites. I've got a bajillion in there. And Tammy had asked me the other day about, you know, things that I like. And this, I mean, this is just, I like stuff like this. I like old, rusty, crusty, and dusty. That's me. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed it. And this is Deb. I'm going to sign off. See ya.